It's high noon on the tabletop, and your success can hinge on this one outcome. My girlfriend has taught me the secret. Like the quick-draw gunslingers of old, this single point can make or break your battlefield plans and can be the thin red line between utter defeat or masterful supremacy. How can you improve the chances of winning this duel? If you are a true gunslinger, you know the power of speed. My girlfriend appreciates my dedication to speed less than my gunslinger buddies for some weird reason. But when we are talking about a tabletop game, how does that translate? For Battletech Alpha Strike, we are talking about the initiative roll. This is at the start of every game turn and determines who goes first during the game turn. If you are a gunslinger like me, you are probably thinking that coming first is the goal. My girlfriend assures me that it isn't. Curious, but I concede her point. Counter to your gunslinger intuition, coming last is actually the key to coming in first, both on the tabletop and elsewhere. There are ways you can attempt to secure this outcome and make it certain. My girlfriend assures me that I need various aids to avoid coming first. She is correct. You can plan ahead and make use of a couple methods to ensure that you come last more often than not. Sometimes you won't, because we all get overexcited from time to time, but we can still set goals for ourselves even if we do not hit them every time. What will happen when you secure this outcome more often than not? Good things, or so my girlfriend promises. I'm still working towards that goal personally, but let me share what I've learned. So why does coming first mean coming last in Battletech Alpha Strike? So it works like this. Both you and your opponent cannot act simultaneously. The game is played by alternating actions during a game turn, right? Unlike other I go, you go games, which an entire army resolves the entirety of their actions as they are made, Battletech Alpha Strike alternates between units and resolves their actions incrementally. Movement phase can kind of be like the proverbial poker game that leads to the high noon showdown. Each player is trying to not show their hand, but still has to make moves to keep the game moving forward. The player that moves first shows a tiny bit of their hand first, giving the other player an edge. Knowing that little bit of their opponent's strategy lets the patient player make better decisions. Decisions such as not spending all their girlfriend's money on little plastic robots, but more to the point, they can make informed decisions during the game. Positioning is key, and being able to better react to your enemy's plans gives you better tactical flexibility. Getting behind the enemy is a way to dominate them, both proverbially and literally, but I hope you understand we are talking about the tabletop game here. Dominance is what you are shooting for on the tabletop, and on the tabletop, power comes from the bottom. I was talking about the bottom of the turn, but we don't kink shame here, I guess. When you get to the shooting part, the proverbial poker table gets flipped. So now it's time to start shooting wildly, right? Well, no. Just like my girlfriend doesn't appreciate me shooting in the house, the patient player knows to wait until she is at work. Damage doesn't get applied in this phase, but again, target selection is a game of making the best decisions you can in the moment. You want to see what your opponent is targeting, what they are shooting, and what they are doing so that you can assess the threats more accurately. Sometimes you can make good guesses about what your opponent might still have in his hand for the next turn and make your decisions based on that. For example, if you are facing a mech that needs to pump a lot of heat to deal damage, you know that once he blows the proverbial load, he will be tired and need a nap. But that means it is potentially a problem you can backseat if there is another big threat that you need to deal with, as you won't be taking a lot of damage from him while he is resting for the next round. As another example, if you are facing an enemy and know that he whiffed his chance at something big, you can punish him for it by prioritizing it before it gets another chance. It's about playing the long game. Lastly, my girlfriend tells me it's the gentlemanly thing to do, coming last. I don't know about that, but make of that what you will. So now that we know why it is important, how do we achieve it? How do we increase our odds of coming last? I'll be breaking it down into a couple different methods. The before play, otherwise known as not that. Before play is fine. stacking the odds, and praying. Warm-up is what happens before you get into the action. Preparation is key. For my girlfriend, I might treat her to a spa day. For Alpha Strike games, give them a spa. Otherwise known as special pilot abilities, they can change the whole outcome of the initiative roll. One such ability is Tactical Genius, which allows you to re-roll the result of your initiative roll once every other turn. I recommend saving it for a burst of stamina later in the game when you are close to blowing it, or at least plan it out to use it consistently through the mid and late game stages. One less obvious SPA might be Combat Intuition, which allows a unit to skip the normal initiative order, acting before others can react. If you combine both in the same list, it can be quite a combo. One of the most effective combos is always tagging in a friend. Another method might be to pad your list with initiative bleeds, or things that are functionally worthless or near to it, but can be sacrificed to force your opponent to show their hand first. A lot of folks love infantry for this, as they are usually slow and predictable in their movement. If your group uses them, special command abilities might be used, such as Banking Initiative, to secure the result you need when you need it, or counterparts that allow a semi-permanent buff to initiative if you pair particular unit types together during the setup. Another common SCA is Specialization, which grants a benefit to initiative when fighting particular enemies, fighting in certain terrain, or using specific tactics. Further tailoring can be done with formations, which include certain formations such as the Command Lance granting SPAs or additional initiative bonuses. Additional weapon types that damage initiative or prevent action can also be leveraged, as always. When I say stacking the odds, you could argue that the footnote before play stage is doing that, and that is true, but I'm getting at something else a little more specific. It means doing things during the game to increase your chances of getting there last. Some folks think about things that are off topic or stressful to prolong their performance. But here in Alpha Strike, you need to keep your head in the game, so instead think about things you can do to secure that initiative roll. In Hinterlands campaigns, for example, you can target your opponent's commanding unit. Eliminating that unit gives them a debuff to initiative rolls for the rest of the game, making it more likely for you to pull it off. Another example would be to win duels against an enemy utilizing a warrior code, dealing them a blow to their fragile egos, more severe than simply insulting their mothers. You understand. Optional rules such as Battlefield Intelligence can further deepen the initiative system and provide a commander with more levers to pull during a game, both for and during. It's a pretty hefty and veiny topic and deserves a video of its own, but for now it is suffice to say that if your group uses this optional rule, the size of your Battlefield Intelligence matters, no matter what your girlfriend might tell you. Having more units that provide BI increases your benefit to initiative, but your opponent will have access to this as well, meaning that if you target units providing intelligence for your enemy as your targets, you can gain the upper hand in initiative rolls. Information is ammunition, or whatever that one Fed son bloke once said. Lastly, you can always pray. Pray that your dice rolls are better. I don't recommend this, as I am bad at gambling on coming last. My girlfriend is nodding in agreement, which is mildly insulting, but you understand. With a new plethora of tools to leverage, you should now have no problem lasting until the very end. My girlfriend likes to remind me that coming last isn't always the goal, and sometimes you just want to have fun, and that's okay too. Just remember that consent is sexy, power comes from the bottom, coming last is winning, and use aids when you need the extra help to do so. You'll see a difference in your stamina and performance in no time. Thanks for watching this goofy video all the way to the end. If you made it this far, comment below, "Mommy likes me best," or "It's my turn to come last," whichever you find more amusing. You understand. Alternatively, share your best tips for coming last. Also consider liking, subscribing, all that stuff that helps me out. If you want me to help you out in return, check out my Patreon where I post things like force trackers and game aids to help you keep track of all those pesky gunslingers in your force, and usually for free, or to, help me not spend so much of my girlfriend's money on more robot toys. Big thank you to my supporters who keep the lights on and motivate me in our Discord. Links in the description. Until next time, the battle will continue.